So I guess you're wondering why I'm here, and I have all my other friends here from St. Louis and the state of Missouri. But anyway, the trust was formed in 1999, and basically we were formed because the District of Columbia was broke. They were under congressional oversight. And the leaders of the city decided they wanted to create a public-private partnership, and they created the trust. When I came on board in 2001, we had no after-school system in the city. We had a very dispersed funding strategy. We had some city dollars going in after school, but not a lot. We had some private dollars going in, but they weren't coordinated. So since 2001, we've raised over $150 million from the public and private community. We have 19,000 kids enrolled in our programs across the city. We have 150 grantees that we're engaged with. So we've done all of this in the last 7 years around system building. So it gives you an idea of what can happen when a system is built and is coordinated. We had no outside funding other than our own. We now have Atlantic Philanthropy, Wallace Foundation, Gates Foundation, and Mott Foundation investing in our organization. So we've done all of that in 7 years, and our overhead is 9.6%. So for all you bankers and business people out there, that's an interesting sort of scenario. We've done a couple of new things. We've instituted. I've had 5 superintendents since I've been there. That's not me. I'm not sure who that is.
It's me.
Okay. Okay.
Let it go.
I thought that was my mother calling me where I'm at this week. But anyway, so we have a line item budget in the district budget. That's very interesting. We have a sustainable funding source of DC money that comes into us every year, which was huge on the legislative side to be able to secure those dollars every year, which helps us leverage additional resources as well. We have a disconnected youth initiative because if half of the kids are not in school, we need to build that system. So we're building that system as we speak. So we have about 6,000 kids who are not in school that we're working with. And just this week, because I run my mouth a lot, I've got a lot of research people that want to talk to me. So I have a national study by RAND that's going to be coming into DC and studying our model. And I just got a letter from the Harvard Family Research Project, which I actually brought with me today, who will be studying us as well. So I'll be able to have those 2 research projects and disseminate information to you about what a model looks like around what works and what doesn't work. And we made $150 million. We've made a lot of mistakes, but we've done a few things right as well.
Thank you, Greg. Jayla?
Well, as St. Louis for Kids, most of you probably in this room, since you're interested in the subject of after school, probably have heard of us. But just a little background on St. Louis for Kids. The organization really started back in the mid-'90s around citizens and some community leaders who were very concerned about youth violence and delinquency issues. And from that, really we're trying to figure out what is it that we need to do as a community to address those critical issues. At the same time, or shortly thereafter that, there was the St. Louis 2004, most of you probably heard of them, had done a lot of citizen engagement work around the community. And when they pulled together that information, I think it was number 1. I've never been assured by anybody who did the studies whether it was number 1 or number 2, but 1 or 2 in the list of issues was the need for more quality after-school opportunities. And it seemed to be a really critical burning issue for a lot of the residents because they have children who they didn't, there was really no safe place for them to go, and yet people weren't really, there were a lot of programs out there operating, but they didn't really know what to do about it. So they pulled together a group to figure out, okay, if this is the issue, what is one of the responses that we need to make as a community to it? And what they realized was it's not, the first step doesn't need to be create more programs kind of from the ground up. The first step needs to be an organization created to pay attention, to pull together quality standards, to promote best practices, and so that what we're doing makes sense, is doing the job that it should do for our kids, and is making a difference across the whole community, not just one site at a time. It wasn't that we didn't have programs, it was that our programs were inconsistent and they really didn't have the impact that folks wanted them to have. Plus, we also had gaps. We needed more. So from that, the board of what became known in 2000 as St. Louis for Kids adopted